What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So it's 2026. Hope you guys had a wonderful new year. There's a lot of things that I wish I knew in Black Desert when I first started the game, and I know a lot of people just either started the game or are returning to the game after the Calpheon Ball, and you probably heard of the new Savior class, so might have just tried it from another MMO. So if you're a new player, there's probably a bunch of things that you're probably confused of, because this game, it's easy to learn, but like hard to master. And here, I wanted to talk about 5 things that I wish I knew starting the game if I was a new player. And just in case you're new to the channel, never heard of what I've done, I've been playing this game since 2016 when it came out on the NA and EU servers, and I've been playing since the beta. So I have seen all the ups and downs of this game ever since then. But yeah, 5 things I wrote down are: number 1, this game is a little bit different from your traditional MMO. And when I say that, I'm talking about games like World of Warcraft, The Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy XIV. I play all of those, and I still do play ESO and Final Fantasy like to this day. But in this game, it's more of a sandbox game, and what I mean by that is you kind of just do your own thing. There aren't really any raids. There are dungeons in a way. There's only 4 of them, but there's no, like, the group content in this game is very minimal. So if you kind of just like doing a certain thing, I'd recommend just doing that. So this is what this game is all about. And I've told this story before, but when I first started this game, I started with one of my friends. We came from another MMO, and you know how the goal is always get the best gear, who could get to the highest level the fastest, and so on. We quickly learned that this game is not that, and you know, a little bit of good RNG can put you ahead, like weeks, if not months, ahead of your friends and other people that are playing this game. So playing this game at your own pace, trying not to compare yourself to others, will definitely keep you playing the game a lot longer. And yeah, that's one thing I would recommend. I absolutely like competition in video games, and that's why I've always tried to push my gear score. But then once you're at the end game, it's really just who hits that 1%, and that's really end game. But up until that point, I think a lot of you guys will have a lot of fun with this game, experiencing it for the first time. So yeah, if you guys need any help, always happy to point you guys in the right direction and answer questions, because I know a lot of stuff in this game, it's very confusing. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Number 2, setting up workers and nodes early. As we all know, the node and worker empire in this game looks very confusing. If you're a new player looking at this, you're probably like, what is all that? Where do I get started? So I have a bunch of videos talking about this, and we go region by region talking about it. But as a quick TLDR in this video, basically these thingies are nodes, right? So like every little clickable is a node, and you could put workers on the nodes to get materials, which they bring back to your storage. Essentially, it's free money and materials as long as you're playing the game or just logged in. So when I first started, we didn't have all the regions that we had now. We had Balano, Serendia, and then, you know, Calpheon came a little bit later. But like, it wasn't as bad early on. But a new player looking at this, like the entire world map, you're probably very confused. So what I would recommend to you guys is, like, you see this tab at the top, switch it to production nodes. It makes things a lot easier to look at. And then basically you start region by region. I would recommend starting it from where you started. So like probably Western Guard Camp for most people. And then look at certain nodes. Which ones do you think is the most valuable? And just start setting up nodes early on. Basically, you look at your contribution points, right? And this is your total, the right side number, and this is how many you have remaining. You want the remaining contribution points to be as low as possible. You want to use them on something, and whether it's good or not, you can always adjust those later, or you could just watch like a video I did, and I tell you about like the high value nodes. I'll leave a link in the description. But anyway, just set them up early on, because it is passive income in the game, and whether you use it or not, They'll probably be in your storage, like all these materials. You can sell it, you can use it, do whatever with it. But make sure you set them up early. That way you can have silver going, like a cash flow going on early as a new player. So yeah, that's one thing I'd recommend. And in every town, there's like a node manager, or not node manager, but like a work supervisor. And then that's where you get that's where you can hire workers to get put on the nodes and stuff. All right, next thing I would say is very important is life skilling actually pays off if you learn it. Now, a lot of people who join this game probably have heard it from a friend or something, and you're just like, if you were to tell your friend who has never played BDO before, describe the game to them, I guarantee you it's very difficult, because you're going to be like, oh, there's a lot of grinding, there's a lot of RNG in the game, the combat is not necessarily balanced, but like I would say BDO has one of the best combat systems of any MMO I've ever played. Balance is a different story, but all the things you say are like RNG, grinding. People don't want to hear that. So I would say there's a lot more things in the game to do than just grinding circles all day. Admittedly, that is most of it, but learning life skills is definitely another way to make kind of competitive amounts of silver. And I know just new players coming in, mentality, grinding, getting the best gear, you can do that. That all comes down to what you do in the game versus going a certain path. Like you could PvE, you could life skill and all that stuff, but just one of those things. Make sure to actually try out life skills in the game. If you've come from any other MMO and you're just like, oh, fishing, every RPG game has fishing, having levels and everything and, you know, leaderboards actually keeps people competitive, but also there's like a more complex system for every life skill. It's not just doing it, it's doing it and then making profit and, you know, building up your empire and knowledge of the game. So yeah, I would definitely recommend starting out life skills. Once again, have a video of like which ones are the most profitable, which ones are the most fun, and like I have a bunch of cool stuff to talk about for that, but videos in the description. Next thing I want to talk about is having multiple characters. Now I know this one is kind of weird, because if you've come from another character, you're like, oh, I only want to play one character, right? Like one main and that's it. Me too. That's what I thought too. But even to this day, I still really play one character as my main. I have, you know, a second one that I like more. But characters in this game actually have, you know, actual uses other than, you know, playing it. I've been playing this game for a while. There's like, what, almost 40 classes in this game. It's very overwhelming for a new player. But you could do multiple things with your characters. Like you could put them at bosses and then collect rewards. So it's not like doing everything on one character. It just is more of a time saver. As well, if you have energy, every character has a separate energy pool, and energy equals silver if you can convert it or you do something with it, right? So having multiple characters as energy batteries will basically help progress your game a lot faster. And also, the main reason of having new characters is because you want to try them out. Like that's playing a game for fun in 2026 is crazy, right? Yeah, that's a joke, by the way. So yeah, like ultimately just play what you think is fun, and they also have bonuses with it. Enhancement, you can hold, you know, enhancement fail stacks, which that's another topic entirely. But basically, having multiple characters in this game actually saves time, even if you only play one character in this game. So if you have one main and that's all you want to do, that's cool. Just have, you know, another season character, just put it at a boss, and then you don't have to go to that boss on your main. It saves so much time. It's actually really nice. But at the end of the day, just having characters, they do something, play it for fun. That's like, at the end of the day, video games are for fun, right? And the last thing I want to talk about, there's actually a lot of things I want to talk about. So if you like this video, we could always do a part 2 in the future. But joining a guild in this game actually has a lot of benefits. Now, I understand that BDO is mostly a solo player game, and like I would say about 95% of the time, you're going to be doing stuff by yourself, whether it's grinding, life skilling, The only group stuff in this game is the very minimal amount of dungeons they have and like few grind spots that are grouped. And then of course there's PvP, which is I guess the 5% or 4% of it. But at the end of the day, joining a guild, even if you play solo, is generally beneficial simply because, one, you can meet friends and talk to people. Two, like there's actually a benefit of being in a guild. So even if you don't do much or you're like a casual player, there's guilds for everyone in this game. So whether you're a life skiller, PvEer, PvPer, just find the one that works for you. But ultimately, you see all these buffs and everything over here. All of these, just being in a guild will give you bonus stats. And most guilds, like established these days, already have them. And then there's guild buffs. That's not really new in particular, but stats being in a guild is, I would say, like not common, whereas getting guild buffs are common. So yeah, being in a guild just for the buffs is also a good option. Meeting other people, that's probably a big one. Imagine playing an online game to play solo, right? Yeah, that's weird. So anyway, yeah, join a guild. Do the thing, like find a guild that you like to do stuff with. So like if you like PvPing, find a PvP guild and stuff. So yeah, those are the 5 tips that I wish I knew early on and probably would have helped me progress faster as a new player. And there's a lot of other things I could talk about. Maybe we'll do a part 2 in the future, but for the sake of not keeping this video like too long, just what I want to talk about. And before I head out, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you come back, and we do a lot of BDO stuff on the channel, as well as I currently have a code for people who want to buy pearls in this game or A-coins, or if you're thinking about trying out the game, we have, like, if you buy the game package bundles, you could use my code and I get a small portion of it. So always appreciate it if you use it. If you don't, it's not a big deal. It's just, it helps me out. And I don't really take sponsors on this channel. It's more just for something that I thought would actually benefit. Like usually sponsors are just like wild out there, but this one is actually for BDO, so I thought it would fit in with the video. That's about it. And I will see you guys later. Peace.